So, good morning, students. This is Banu Prasad, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering in MVR College of Engineering and Technology. Today, we will discuss about how heat will be generating in metal cutting. So, start from this diagram onwards. So, heat generation in zones. So, this is one of the example of the diagram. So, in this diagram, the heat will be generating this percentage one. So see here, it is workpiece, it is a chip, it is a tool. So here the portions onwards, the heat will be generating here total 100% is one. So the first one is depending on pi. Pi is nothing but your primary zone. This one primary deformation zone one. So this zone onwards 60% is the heat will be generating here between the chip and the workpiece. This one, this zone onwards. This is a 30%. This is a secondary deformation zone one. So the secondary deformation zone onwards, the heat will be generating here 30% is only. So next one is territory deformation zone. So it is nothing but here the heat will be generating here 10% is. It is dependent on the shaper of the tool one. So here this 10% is depending on the sharpness of the tool one. So that is a measure here. 10% is how this 10% is depending on totally sharpness of the tool one. The tool is very sharp one, often can get this percentage one. The tool is not sharp one, often this percentage will be changed. Heat generation percentage will be changed. So it is the heat generating one. It is workpiece. It is a tool. So when the tool will be removing the material here, the removed material is called as the chip one. So between the chip, tool, and workpiece, these three components onwards, the heat will be generating here. So it is the first one between workpiece and chip onwards. So this portion is called as the primary deformation zone one. It is a depending on 60% is one. So this zone we can call as the is X, Y, Z. So we have the three regions. You can assume also it is X, Y, Z regions also. So this Y region is nothing but it is a secondary deformation one. So here 30% is heat will be generated here. Territory it is nothing but 10%. This 10% is heat is depending on the sharpness of the tool. So heat generating zones this one. Next one we can see another diagram of heat generating in metal tool one. This diagram, you can see in this diagram, totally it is workpiece, chip, tool one. So here the 60% is the heat will be generating here. This one we can call as primary deformation zone one. So it is 30% is the heat will be generating here. That is called as secondary deformation one. 10% is so total here 100, 60, 30, 10. So this is a territory deformation zone one. This is the 10%. This 10% is not fixed one. This is depending on the sharpness of the tool one. Sharpness of the tool onwards, the percentage will be changed here. So this workpiece is the elastic deformation friction heat generation one. This one we can call as it is the elastic deformation friction heat generation one. It is a plastic deformation friction heat generation one. It is elasticity. It is a plasticity. Next one is it is electroplastic deformation one, heat generation zone. So these three zones you can see here: primary, secondary, territory. So plastic deformation, elastic deformation, electroplastic deformation. You can see these three zones, these three regions. So between the workpiece, chip, and tool one. So it is one of the heat generation in the tool one. So next one we can see sources and causes of heat generation in machining one. What are the sources and how the causes of heat generation in the machining one? See here, during machining, heat is generated at the cutting point from the three sources as indicated in figure 1. So when the cutting point, three sources are indicated. So in cutting zones onwards, through three sources are indicating here. The first one is see here, those sources and causes of development of the cutting temperature. So these sources causes the development of cutting temperature. It is increasing the temperature. These sources are these sources in this cutting process are increasing the temperature one. So that purpose here we are using the sources. The first one is primary shear zone one. In primary shear zone onwards, where the major part of the energy is converted into the heat one. Here the major part of the energy is converted into the heat one. That one we can call as the primary shear zone one. Next one is secondary shear zone at the at the chip and the tool interface, where the future heat is generated due to the rubbing and shearing of the workpiece one. So here secondary deformation onwards, how the heat will be generated here is due to rubbing or shearing of the metal one. After then only shearing of the metal and the workpiece one, after then only the heat will be generating here. Next one is at the worn out flanks, the third one, worn out flanks one, due to the rubbing between the tool and the finished surface one. So in here the heat, how the heat will be developing here means in this third one, due to the rubbing between the tool and the finished surface. Tool and the finished surface onwards, the heat will be generating here, heat will be developing here. So it is the third source one. Generally we have the three types of source onwards, the heat will be generating here, heat will be developing here in the metal cutting one, in the machining process one. So what are the three sources means primary zone, secondary zone, at the worn out flanks one. So is the sources one. It is a heat generation amount. First one is heat generation zones. So next heat generation zones onwards. First one, see here, heat generation one. First one is heat generation zones. Block diagram is one, deep diagram one. So next one is sources and causes of heat generation in machining one. So next one is we can see what is the difference between coolant and lubricant. So these coolant and lubricant are we are used in the machining process, in machining operation. When we are machining the tools, when we are machining the parts one, so machine should these two kind of process we are used in the machining process. The two kind of process is nothing. First one is coolant one, second one is lubricant one. So what is the coolant one? The basic purpose of coolant is to take away generating cutting heat from the cutting zone and thereby keep the cutting zone in temperature low one. So the basic purpose of coolant is to take away generating cutting heat from the cutting zone one. That is the major point here, and they're keeping the cutting zone in temperature low one. Next one is the basic purpose of lubricant is reduce the coefficient of friction between the rake surface of the cutter and the chip one. So here the temperature will be increasing here. So here what happens is the temperature will be reducing here. The basic purpose of lubricant is to reduce the coefficient of friction. Friction will be reducing between the rake surface of the cutter and the chip one. So and thereby minimize the rate of heat generation one. So it is minimizing the heat generated, it will be reducing here. So see here, and then the second point of the coolant one. Here the coolant acts on the generated heat. So that is a major point here. The coolant here, the coolant in machining operation, it acts as generating the heat. But the lubricant in machining operation one, it can be reduce the rate of heat generation one. That is a major difference between the coolant and the lubricant. In machining process, coolant acts as the generated heat, but lubricant, it can be reduce the rate of heat generation one. So it has no influence on removing the heat, and that is already generated one. So what is the third point for the coolant and lubricant? Coating on cutting tool has no role as the coolant one. The coating of the cutting tool, so it not play the key role on the machining operation one. The coating layer on the cutting tool sometimes acts as lubricant. So the coating means nothing but, see here workpiece onwards we have used this some coatings, some chemical coating. So some example one ela ante manaki welding lo filler metal paina coating ela untudo, so same coating మన filler rod ఉంటుంది, filler rod పైన ఏముంటుంది మన కెమికల్ ఫ్లక్స్ ఉంటుంది కదండి. సో సేమ్ అలాగే ఇక్కడ కూడా ఏంటంటే, సో మనకి ఈ టూల్ మీద దగ్గర కోటింగ్ అనేది వేస్తారు. సో ద కోటింగ్ సమ్ టైమ్స్ ఇట్ యాక్ట్స్ యాజ్ lubricant one. So here it is not affect on the, it is not pay the It is not play the key role on the coating one, in coating coolant process one. So to act as good coolant, the cutting fluid should possess high specific heat capacity one. So to act as a good coolant, the cutting fluid should possess high specific heat capacity one. So next one, to act as good lubricant, the cutting fluid should possess high lubricant. So it good coolant undalante, so the coolant, it act as good coolant. What is the reason means the cutting fluids, it passes the high specific heat capacity. The cutting fluid machine should, it passes the high capacity heat one, after then only it act as the good coolant one. So in lubricant, how it act as good lubricant means the cutting fluid should pass as high lubricant, after then only it acts as a good lubricant one. So it is a major difference between coolant and lubricant one. So it is one of the very important. These two processes are, they are used in the machining process. Next one is another topic, some single point cutting tool. Already we were discussed this topic in regular class timing onwards. So it is a completed topic one, but again I am repeating here. What is the single point cutting tool? Multi-point cutting tool. These tools are used to remove the metal from the workpiece. So in machining operation lo, the tool is the main key role. So the tool is the main one. With the tool only we are remove the metal from the workpiece. So here tools generally two types. The first one is single point cutting tool. Next one is multi-point cutting tool. The first one is single point cutting tool. It contains only one main cutting edge in the cutting body. So one cutting edge we can see in the single point cutting tool one. It contains more than one, even up to 100 cutting edges in the cutter body. So in multi-point cutting tool one, how can we identify means it has even more than one. More than one means even up to 100 cutting edges in the cutter body. So that one we can call as the multi-point cutting tool one. It is the major difference between the single point cutting tool, multi-point cutting tool. It is a main point, a key point, the single point. Anyone asks you what is the difference between single point cutting tool means single point cutting tool and multi-point cutting tool means, you can say in single point cutting tool one main cutting edge in the cutter body. Multi-point cutting tool, it contain more than one, even up to 100 cutting edges in the cutter body. So that one we can call as the multi-point cutting tool. Next one is, see here another difference also. While machining with a single point cutting tool, only one main cutting edge continuously remain in the constant with the workpiece one. So where we are machining, when we are machining by using the single point cutting tool, we are machining only one main cutting edge continuously remaining constant with the workpiece one. Well, we are machining with the multi-point cutting tool, more than one cutting edge simultaneously engage in material removal action in the process. So these kind of differences we can see in the single point and multi-point. The rate of heat generation and subsequent rise the tool temperature is a high one. So the rate of heat generation and subsequent rise in the tool temperature is high one. So in heat generation is more one. In single point cutting tool, the rate of heat generation and subsequent rise in the tool temperature is low one. So when the subsequent is rise in the tool one, automatically in single point cutting tool the temperature is high one. So the multi-point cutting tool one, the temperature is low one. So next one is the design and fabrication of the single point cutting tool are easier one. So design and fabrication, design and manufacturing in single point cutting tool is very easy one. So compared to multi-point cutting tool one, so design and fabrication of multi-point cutting tool are quite difficult. So it is one of the difficult process. Why? Means more than one, up to 100 cutting edges we are manufacturing here. So design and fabrication of the multi-point cutting tool is quite difficult, but in single point cutting tool it is very easy one. Usually low feed rate and depth of the cut is employed when machining is carried out with the single point cutting tool. Usually low feed rate and depth of cut is employed here. So when machining is carried out with the single point cutting tool one, higher feed rate can be employed with the machining is carried out with the multi-point cutting tool. Low feed rate we can see on the single point cutting tool, high feed rate we can see on the multi-point cutting tool here. That is major difference here. Here the material removal rate MRR productivity are low one. So here high material removal rate MMR are productivity higher one. So here the productivity MRR material removal rate is very low here. Single point cutting tool. The material removal rate is higher one in multi-point cutting tool. Why? Because here single point we are using, so that's why MR is very low. MRR is very low. The multi-point we are using fastly. We are cutting the tool one, so that's why the material requirement rate is material removal rate is more one. So examples of the single point cutting tool, it is very easy one. So how can we identify the where we can use, what is the application of the single point cutting tool? Means see here, turning tool, shaping tool, planing tool, slotting tool, fly milling, cutters, extra so. So these are the examples of the single point cutting tool. So turning tool, shaping tool, planing tool, slotting tool, fly milling cutters. So these are the one of the examples of the single point cutting tool. Next one is multi-point cutting tool. You can see here milling cutters, hub, broach, grinding wheel, reamer, knurling tool. So these are the examples of the multi-point cutting tool. Milling cutters, first one, hub, broaching machines. Next one is grinding wheel one, reamer, knurling tool. So these are the examples of the multi-point cutting tool. So it is a major difference between single point cutting tool and multi-point cutting tool. Very important. So in essays they can ask you one of the A question, A, B, C. They can ask you. So they will ask you this question also, A or B. Very important one. Next one is we can see another one also. So orthogonal cutting, oblique tool cutting. So these are in machining operations. These also these processes are also very important. This is also one of the fundamental for the machining operation. Orthogonal cutting. Cutting is generally two types. One is orthogonal cutting. Second one is oblique cutting. The first one we can see orthogonal cutting. The cutting edges of the tool is perpendicular to the cutting velocity factor one. Here, the cutting edge of the tool is perpendicular to the velocity factor one. So see here, the cutting edge is always perpendicular to the cutting velocity factor one. So that one we can call as orthogonal cutting one. The cutting edge is inclined one at an angle with the correct velocity factor one. So that one we can call as the oblique cutting one. Orthogonal cutting one. So 90 degrees onwards, it cut the metal one. Simply saying 90 degrees onwards, they cut the workpiece one. That one we can call as the orthogonal cutting one. Based on the some inclination onwards to cut the workpiece one, that one we can call as the oblique cutting one. So orthogonal always 90 degrees onwards, to cut the workpiece. But oblique cutting based on the inclination onwards, so 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 60 degrees, some inclination onwards, we remove the metal, cut the metal one. So that one we can call as the oblique cutting. So next one is the cutting edges clean the width of the workpiece on the either ends. So here the cutting edge clears the width of the workpiece on the either ends one. Here the cutting edge may not clear the width of the workpiece on the either ends one. This is a major point one here. So it is clear orthogonal cutting one. The cutting edges it will be clear, will not be clear one. The cutting edges it cannot be clear. So the chip flows over the tool face one. So the chip here flows on the tool face only. Here the chip will flows over the tool face one. So but here the chip will flows on the tool face one. So that is the major difference here. Only two components of the cutting forces are acting on the tool one. Only two components of the cutting forces are acting here. So that way we can call as it is the 2D. One of the 2D oblique cutting we can call as 2D cutting. Only three components of the cutting forces are acting on the tool one. So that's why it is called as the 3D cutting. So oblique cutting in general simply we can call as 3D cutting one. So orthogonal cutting we can call as the simply 2D cutting one. Tool is perfectly sharp one. So here the tool is perfectly sharp one. The tool is not perfectly sharp one. Why? Because multi edges we can see. So we cannot sharp the tool one. So next one we can see tool contact the chip on the rake face only. The tool will be contacts the chip on the rake face only here. So the tool may not generate the surface parallel to the workpiece one here. So relatively shorter tool life one. So here Tool life is very shorter one. So multi-point cutting tool, longer tool life we can see on oblique cutting. Only one cutting edge in the action one. More than one cutting edges are in the action one. So only one cutting edges we can see on the orthogonal cutting one. So more than one cutting edges we can see on the oblique cutting one. So it is a major differences between the orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting. Very, very important. This is also one of the very important question. Very important question in the fundamentals of machining. So next one is we can see orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting diagram one. So it is orthogonal cutting, is oblique cutting. So mission, see here mission position is like this. Tool is like this. The tool will be fixed here perpendicular. So here the tool will be fixed here inclined. So that is a tool here. There is a difference here. Tool. Next one is chip. Chip is removed here. The chip will be removed here. Cutting edge is 90 degrees one. The cutting edge is inclined. This no, now perfectly you cannot say the angle of the cutting tool. So in oblique cutting onwards. So the motion of the workpiece is like this, in this direction one. So here the motion of the workpiece is like this. So this is one of the major difference between orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting. It is a block diagram. See here the block diagram also. Orthogonal cutting one, orthogonal cutting, oblique cutting. So see here like this, orthogonal cutting. So oblique cutting you can see like this. So the chip, the removed material we can see by use a tool one. Tool is 90 degrees. We are fixing one and remove the material like this. It is a chip. The removed material we can call as the chip one. So this one. So next one is this one. You can see here some inclination onwards. The tool here remove the material. The removed material, this one you can call as the chip one. So it is a major difference between the orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting. So it is a very, very important essay question. It is an essay question, or sometimes they can ask you 7.5 question, 8 marks or 7 marks they will ask you. Orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting are single point and multi-point cutting tools. So next one we can see another diagram. Workpiece. These both are workpieces one. So orthogonal cutting, oblique cutting, right angle, oblique angle. So the cutting tool is like this, 90 degrees. See, but it is some inclination. The cutting tool you can see like this. So it is some of the example for the orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting. So next topic is missionability. So very, very important this one also. Missionability is with which a given material may be worked with a cutting tool. So what is the missionability means? Which a given material may be worked with a cutting tool. You can give the any one material that will be worked with a cutting tool. So that one we can call as the missionability. Some example I can give the one material. So it receive the missionability one and worked with a cutting tool one. So that one we can call as missionability one. The missionability of the material is usually defined as the following 4 factors one. So the missionability generally it is depending on 4 factors. The first one is surface finishing here, tool life, force and power required one. Next one is the level of difficulty in chip control. So these 4 factors the missionability will be depending on. So thus good missionability indicates good surface finishing and surface integrity, a long tool life, low forces and power requirements, and a desired chip control in the cutting tool. So the good missionability indicates these points. The good surface indicates missionability. The good missionability indicates these points. We can see some effects we can see here. Good surface finishing we can see. Surface integrity we can see. Long tool life we can see. Low forces we can see. And power requirements we can see. Desired chip control in the cutting zone we can see. The good missionability it indicates these points. So next one is we can see economic and product design consideration in machining one. Economic and product design. What is the economic one? Economic is nothing but initial cost one. What is the product design? Considerations. What are the considerations we can see in machining operation one? The first one is machinability one. Next one is tolerance and surface finishing here. These are the economical and product design consideration. One of the major point one. Tolerance and surface finishing you can see. The third one is selection of cutting conditions. So cutting conditions also very important one. So next one is product design consideration in machining one. Product design also very important. Based on the product design only we can choose, we can calculate the economic product design consideration in machining process. So these are the 2 points for the economic product design consideration in machining one. So next one we can see. So tool material. So in this topic we will discuss about tool material. So we are tool by using the tool. Single point cutting tool we have, multi point cutting tool we have. The tool is very important. The tool by using the some metals, the tool will be manufactured. What kind of tool we are, what kind of metals we are using the tool means. So see here, the success in metal cutting depending on the selection of the proper cutting tool. So we are success of metal cutting is depending on the selection of the proper cutting tool. That is a major point here. So the tool is nothing but here material and geometry for a given workpiece one. So the two one is the selection of cutting tool, good cutting tool selection. How can we select means based on the material and geometry one. So next one is the wide range of cutting tool materials is available with a variety of properties. The wide range of cutting tool materials is available with a variety of properties. Variety of properties, performance, capabilities, and cost one. So some example one, we are using different type of tool one. So different types of material we can use it on the tool one. So variety of properties, variety of performance, variety of capability we can see on different kind of tools one. Different kind of tool we are using, different kind of materials also we are using. Different kind of materials we are using, automatically we can see working. How the tool will be working means a variety of properties we have in the material one. A good performance we can see on the tool one. Capability also we can see on the tool one, and cost also. Next one is these included high carbon steel, low medium alloy steel one. Next one is high speed steel one. Next one is cast cobalt alloys one. So these are the some of the indications for the tool material. So see here, variety of tool material. So variety of tool material we can choose, variety of properties. So variety of working, variety of speed, everything we can see on this kind of materials one. First one is diamond. See here. This one is ceramics. Cermet is a material. It is a cemented carbide one. It is coated cemented carbide one. It is a fine crystal cemented carbide one. It is a high speed steel one. So these are the materials, some of the materials we can see in the tool making one. So how can we tool manufacture means this kind of tools, this kind of metals are used to make a tool. So it is one of the machining process. So totally MCMD is one of the machinery process. Machinery process, the tool is very important one. Based on the tool onwards, we are remove the metal from the workpiece. But in tool, how they are manufacturing the tool means, so these kind of materials are used to make the tool one, to manufacture the tool one. Often the tool will be performs very well. So we can see high cutting speed, we can see high performance, we can see high accuracy, we can see good surface finishing, we can see. So by using the good tool one, we can see this kind of performance we can see on the tool one. So we are not using the good tool one, so some roughness, good surfacing finishing, we cannot see the speed, performance, everything is very low only. So tool is very important one. The tool will be play the key role in the machining operations. So next one is cutting tool materials. See here, cutting tool materials. Lathe tool bits generally made of 5 materials. So generally here tool bits, lathe machine we have. Lathe tool bits generally made of 5 materials. So the tool bits, it is 5 kind of metals we are used in the tool one. So first one is high speed steel. We can use cast alloys such as steelite, cemented carbides, ceramics, cements. So these kind of 5 kind of metals we are used to make a lathe tool bits. So next one is more exotic, finding wide is used one. So borazone and polycrystalline diamond. So more also you can use it one. The more is nothing but this one also. Extra also you can use it. Borazone and polycrystalline diamond also you can use it. So next one is we can see tool properties. What are the tool properties means? See, the first one is the high hardness. We can see. Next one is resistance, abrasion. We can see. Next one is resistant chipping. We can see. Hardness. We can see. Resist bulk. We can see. Resist bulk deformation. We can see. So chemical stability. We can see. Adequate thermal properties. We can see. Consistent tool life. We can see. Geometry. We can see. So these are the tool properties. Some of the tool properties. This one. So these are very, very important properties. Tools one. So next one is what are the another one? We can see properties of cutting tool metals, where resistance necessary to enable the cutting tool to retain its shape and cutting efficiency. So resistance is very important one. So resistance is the good property for cutting tool. Why? Because it retain its shape and cutting efficiency. Next one is hardness to retain the hardness to retain the cutting ability, the hardness that may be lost due to high temperature developed at the two chip interface work. So the hardness retain the cutting ability. The hardness that may be lost due to high temperature developed to the cutting tool interface. Sometimes it lost. And how can it lost means high temperature developed at the two chip interference one automatically it reduce the it lost the hardness one. So next one is toughness. Toughness to withstand the force due to cutting and the to observe the shocks and to prevent the chipping of the fine cutting edges. So it is the toughness one. It is one of the properties. We can see wear resistance, hardness, toughness. These three are the very, very important properties in the tool materials. So next one is see last one. So what is the classification of tool materials? So some of the classifications we can see on the tool materials. So the first one is high carbon steel, high speed steel, cast alloys, cementine carbides, ceramics, diamond, and cubic boron nitride one. So these are the classifications of the tool materials. So it is our today class. Thank you. So today class, first of all, we are discussed about the what is the heat affected zone. Heat affected zone you can see here. So what is the heat affected zone on metal cutting one? The first one is heat affected zone. One see here it is block diagram. It is one of the block diagram of heat affected zone. So next one is sources. What are the sources and causes of heat generation in machining one? So that is a major point. This one there are three type of zones are very important. So these three sources are these sources are we are used in the causes in the heat generation in the machining one. So next one is we can see coolant lubricant. What is the difference between coolant and lubricant? These two processes are we are used in the machining process. So these three are also very important one. So next one is what is the difference between single point cutting tool and multi point cutting. So tools are generally two classifications: single point, multi point one. So next one is we can see here. So some of the cutting one. Cutting is nothing but here machining onwards based on the cutting one. We have the two classifications. The first one is orthogonal cutting. Second one is oblique cutting one. So these are black diagrams of the orthogonal cutting and oblique cutting one. Next one is machinability. What is machinability? So economic consolidation is the machining operation one. So next one is we can see another one also. So tool materials. So tool materials also we have different types one. So we can see tool materials, variety of the tool materials. So these are the today tool properties. So cutting tool properties and the classification of the tool materials. So it is our today class, Amma. Thank you. So next class we have the merchant force diagram, Amma. So merchant force diagram onwards. So we have the some few problems. So it is our last topic one. So in first unit one, we remaining your topics are we have only two: Taylor's two life equation one, merchant force diagram. These two derivation onwards. So we have the sums. So this one we're gonna discuss it for next class onwards. So thank you, Amma.